Alright, coming up to this first braking zone. This braking zone is very hard to judge. My reference is when these first two apexes line up, or right before it actually. That's when I start braking. And you want to brake in as straight of a line as possible, so straight into the second corner. It's a super tight corner, so you won't lose too much speed anyways. So as you can see, braking kind of straight into this corner, and you want to stay tight in this corner. Go on the curbs, it'll give you a lot of rotation, and then just cut across here. It's like an apex. And in this section, you need to sacrifice a bit of speed through this first corner to get a good run through the second corner. So you aim for the bollard here, that's your first apex, and then try to stay flat here. In this corner, I brake right before the wall ends here on the left side, and take as much curb as possible. You can even take more than I did. Same here, take as much curb as possible. And if you have a good line, you'll be able to stay flat through here. Here, you see that there is kind of a compression before this crest, you see. And you want to brake in the compression and let go of the brakes over the crest. And then you want to kind of roll the car into the corner. So let go of the brakes here, roll the car in here. You can even be more to the left and take as much curb as possible here. And here's the same thing. You want to make use of the compressions on this track as much as possible. So you brake in the compression here and let go of the brakes here. You want to really nurture the front tires through this corner and take the curb. It'll give you extra rotation, and just be patient with the throttle. Full throttle through here, and you see this little bollard on the inside of this corner. That's what you want to aim for here, because you'll easily wash wide because it's so bumpy here. And here you see the two brown or beige specks in the grass on the right side here. I brake on the first speck or in between these two specks. And you want to have a early turn in here. And here is one of the hardest corners or sections of the track when it comes to consistency, at least. You'll see that there are two sausage curbs, one on each apex. You can take the first sausage curb. It's faster if you do it. It'll allow you to have a straighter line through the corner. But if you want to be consistent or safe, I would miss this first curb. What you absolutely do not want to do is go on the second sausage curb, but because it will flip your car. So I'm missing this first one here, the same with the second one, and then use as much exit curb as possible. Here we're coming into the second chicane, and same thing here. I'm braking in the compression, letting go of the brakes over the crest, and after the crest, I start braking again. And here you want to turn in earlier than you think, because as you can see, this corner is extremely narrow. So turning in early, and two wheels on the grass on the right side, and the same on the left side. And aiming for the bollard here on the inside. And now we're coming up to the hardest braking zone of the track. Here I start braking at the end of this curb on the left side. I let go of the brakes again. And as you can see, I'm cutting across the curb as much as possible on the right side here. And I'm back on throttle now. Why is this? As usual in the TCR cars, going on throttle will pull the car straight, which means that you will stabilize the car by going on throttle. And that'll allow you to brake safer and harder in the second braking zone of this corner. So back on the brakes, and even back on throttle again before going on the brakes, and a super late apex here. Be very patient with the throttle, because you'll easily wash wide here and invalidate your lap. And yeah, that's one lap around Bilsterberg.